What's up, guys? Fat Bieber here. We got another week of NFL action in the books. Week 3's done and over with, and now it's time to do some more power rankings after week 3, so let's just get right into it. Alright, starting off, we got the LA Rams. They lost in spectacular fashion to the Eagles. Where were they last week? Hold on, let me pull up my list from last week. Oh, the Rams, I had them at the back of contenders. I think that's where they're going to stay. They were just this close to beating the Eagles, came up short because they couldn't kick a field goal at the end. Matt Stafford was missing a bunch of throws. Yeah, I didn't like what I saw there. All right, Falcons. Oh, Falcons this week. I'm sorry, guys. You're moving into the bad tier. I mean, I just watched them get dog walked and put up a goose egg this week. Yeah, sorry, you're getting moved down from mid to bad. I think they were in mid last week. Chargers, staying in favorites. 3-0, winning the division. Sad to say as a Chiefs fan. Yeah, Herbo looks great. Nothing really bad to say about them right now. Panthers, you're going back in needs Jesus. Oh, they beat the Falcons 30-0. God, I think they still need Jesus, though. I think they... literally 121 yards. Yeah, they're staying in needs Jesus. I don't care if they won 30-0. All right, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're in wild cards. I like some of the things I see from them. They're winning in weird ways, but Aaron Rodgers is still a decent player. He can still play. The defense tightened up last week. They forced multiple turnovers on the Patriots. They looked good. They looked good. It took an insane amount for them to win, but they won. San Fran, oh god, I'm putting them in mid. Like, I know they're 3-0, but this team is too brutalized by injuries for me to take them seriously right now. And it's not because I think they're bad. It's because they're just too injured. Sorry, that's just it. Bills still in favorites. I think their defense can be picked on for sure. And in the playoffs, that's going to be a key thing for them. Josh Allen in the offense looks great, but I think they're going to be on the back end of favorites this week. Next up, we got the Cowboys. You're bad. Guys, you got blown out by the Bears, who are also a really bad team. Your defense is the worst in the NFL. I'm sorry. Like, you're making Caleb Williams and Russell Wilson look like fucking superheroes against you. That just can't happen. You're in bad. Seahawks. I'm going to put them in wild cards. I'm going to put them above the Steelers. Oh, the Seahawks just blew out the Saints. It's a quality win against a team you're supposed to beat. Blow them out. Good job. Yeah, you're in wild cards. You're doing what you're supposed to. Eagles. Oh, man, where did the Eagles go? I think, honestly, with that win, I think that win against the Rams was a quality win. I think all of their wins, other than the Cowboys, have been quality wins against good teams. I think they are in favorites still. They deserve to be in favorites. They won the Super Bowl. They go up here, all the way at the top. The Lions. I think they're also going in favorites, and I'm putting them over Buffalo. Here's why. When they win dominantly. I'm kind of willing to write off the week 1 loss against the Packers. That's week 1. They just came out a little flat, I think. And they looked great against the Ravens. Dominant. They're going to be at the back half of favorites, but they're in favorites right now. Saints, they need Jesus, for sure. Probably the least talented roster in the league still. And yeah, they're not going anywhere. They're staying in needs Jesus. Raiders, they're a bad team. I'm going to put them in the middle. Geno, just scored a bunch of garbage time points for them. They're an awful team. Don't know how to sugarcoat it. They've got some things you like, but they're just awful. Bears, I'm gonna put them at the top of bad. Yeah, I'm gonna put them at the top of bad. The win over the Cowboys was a good win for them, although it has an asterisk. The Dallas defense is so awful, and their offense looked terrible the 2 weeks prior. So they're staying in bad for right now until they get a better win than that. The Colts, I'm going to put them at the top of contenders. I'm going to put them on top of LA. Lots of people want to put them up here. Lots of people do. This is my hot take. They still haven't beaten a quality opponent. I don't think that the Broncos were a quality opponent. They beat the Titans and the the Dolphins, who I think are like 2 bottom 5 teams in the league. So, Dolphins also going in needs Jesus tier. They fucking suck. I'm gonna put them above these teams though, because they actually have like things that they have redeeming qualities. Like they've got Waddle and Hill, they've got Achane on offense. They're going at the top of this. Patriots. Oh god, do they need Jesus? I think they need Jesus after last week, man. They fumbled the ball like, was it 3 times, 4 times? They are turning over the ball at an insane rate. And they probably should have won that game against the Steelers, and they just flubbed it. I don't trust Drake May. Don't trust that offense. Don't trust the defense either. Just a bad team. Okay, Browns. Browns got a quality win. I'm gonna put them in bad. Yeah, I'm gonna put them in bad. There's redeeming things. There's Myles Garrett. There's the run game. Quinshon Judkins looks like he's gonna become a factor for them sooner rather than later. But yeah, they got a quality win over Green Bay, who I thought was the best team coming into this week. I still think they are, but we'll see. Bengals needs Jesus. I'm sorry. I think you have 2 great receivers, and you got a backup quarterback just throwing picks like there's no tomorrow. No O-line. Your defense still sucks. Didn't fix it in the offseason, sorry to say. And you're going in needs Jesus tier. Green Bay, I'm going to put them in the middle of favorites now. They moved down a little bit. They're not in the top spot anymore, but they just invented a way to lose that game against the Browns. Like, they just found a way to choke it. I don't think that's completely indicative of who that team is. I think they're going to stay in favorites, but we'll see. They could easily, have another misstep and fall out of this tier. But we're putting them up there still. We're going to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. And now we're moving on to the Chiefs, who I think are in the middle of contenders. Probably people are going to cry about this. They're going to be like, oh my god, they're 1-2, they're 1-2. They've been to the AFC Championship like the last 7 or 8 years in a row. Okay, bitch. Shut up. They've been in the last like 5 out of 7 Super Bowls. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. You're either a hater, you're being intellectually dishonest if you're acting like it's over for the Chiefs. Shut the fuck up. Alright. Now, Titans, they need Jesus. We're putting them on top of the Dolphins. I like Cam Ward. I like some of the receivers. I like Io Manor. The O-line needs Jesus. The run game isn't that great. And the defense is just flat out awful. Other than my glorious king, L'Jarius Sneed. They're going in needs Jesus. Not much to be said there. Jags, I think, are going at the top of mid. There's a lot to like about them. There's a little bit to not like about them. I could easily see them getting into the wild card round and winning their division. Yeah, they're going to be in mid. They could easily move up here or stay here. Broncos country. I'm going to put them at the back of wild card. They were 1 point away from beating the Colts. They probably should have won that game if not for that insane penalty. But I just think they're in a different tier. These teams are all in a different tier from the Broncos as of right now. So I'm going to keep them in wild card. I'm going to put them at the back of wild card. I need to see more from them. I need Bo Nix to stop being Mo Picks. I need the run game to get going. I need the defense to play better than what they've been playing. Giants are, I think they're in bad tier. I'm going to put them right in the middle of bad. And here's why. I think that Jackson Dart is going to give this team a little bit of juice. Russ's time is over. We could easily see Jackson Dart flub and fall on his face, but I like the weapons. I like Neighbors. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. I like Scattaboo. Tyrone Tracy just went out, but I don't think that's going to be the end of the world for them. And defensively, they've got pieces for sure. The D-line is nasty. We just need to see more from them. I could easily see them moving up to mid even if Jackson Dart plays well. But yeah, they're going to stay in bad for right now. Vikings, I think they're going to go in wild cards and they're going to go above Broncos. If Carson Wentz keeps playing well, oh baby. Okay, if Carson Wentz keeps playing the way that he played last week, this team's going places. Do I put them above the Steelers? You know what? I'm going to put them above the Steelers. In fact, I'm going to move the Steelers down to here. I feel like that's a little bit more fair. But yeah, love what we saw to them defensively last week. What were Carson Wentz's stats? Let's see. He had a pretty good game, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not going to blow you out of the water, but It's a good win. It's a quality win. Yeah, I think they go near the top of wildcards. If we see more from them, I could definitely see them moving up to contenders if they keep playing well like they did last week. Cardinals are going in the middle of mid-tier behind the San Francisco 49ers because they lost to them with a backup quarterback and Nick Bosa leaving the game, and everybody on that team's injured, and they still lost. I think they're mid as hell. In fact, I think they could easily move down into bad tier. Not much more to say about them than that. Ravens, I'm actually going to move them down here. They were up here in favorites until last week. They got moved down into contenders. I still believe in this team. I believe in Lamar. I think he's just an electric player. He can make every throw on the field, and he's got dynamic legs. But the defense looks to be pretty terrible right now. I mean, you've got guys who you know all their names. You got Roquan. Matabike was hurt. You got Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins. Oh yeah, Van Noy was hurt too, but still. Like, this team has been giving up like 30 plus points almost every game, except the game against the Browns. I think them and Buffalo are very similar teams, especially in the fact that their game came down to only 1 point. So they're going in here. I've dropped them down to contenders. I think the Chiefs are going to beat them. They've notoriously choked against the Chiefs. So I think this team might be 1-3 after this week. All right, Buccaneers, we're going to move them. I'm going to move them to the top of contenders. They are having some tough, close games against some bad teams, kind of like the Colts. Well, not kind of like the Colts. Actually, I'm going to put the Colts on top of them. Colts are going on top of contenders. Bucs are going right behind them. They're having more close games against bad teams. I believe in Baker. I believe in the offense. Love Egbuka. But do they have what it takes to do something in the playoffs? We'll see. I'm going to put them in contenders. Jets are going in the back end of mid-tier. They almost won against the Buccaneers, as I think who they played this week. They put up a good fight with the backup quarterback, but they just keep coming up short. And teams that keep coming up short, I'm going to put them on top of the Cardinals. Yeah, I'm putting them on top of the Cardinals. I think they're a better team. Also, the Cardinals just lost James Conner to that horrific injury. He was a huge piece of that offense, and I don't know if they can replace him. Washington, they're going at the top of wild cards for me. They just got a quality win against, who was it? I need to look it up again. The Raiders. Oh, yeah, they put up 41 points against the Raiders. Are you kidding me? Yeah. They just blew out the Raiders. I could easily see them moving up into contenders, knocking one of these teams out. What do I have to say about Washington? I like Dan Quinn as a head coach. I love Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator. They're good. They're a good team. Like, they just won. They just blew out the Raiders with their starting quarterback injured. Love to see that. Next, we got the Texans, and they are going to go to the back end of mid-tier for me. I think that this team's record kind of belies how good they actually are. They're 0-3. I think they're a better team than that. CJ Stroud is better than that. Their defense is better than that. They just can't protect him. They can't get the ball to the receivers consistently. They're 0-3, but I think they're mid. I think they're better than a lot of these teams back here in this bottom end, but we just need to see more from them. They've lost very close games. They're not getting blown out. They're always in the game. So I could easily have seen any of those 3 games to start the year going the other way for them. And yeah, that is going to round out the end of the tiers. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Tell me if you like the Ray Kings. Tell me if you hate them. Tell me to keep myself safe if you feel that passionate about it. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This one's going to be way shorter than the last one. The last one was like an hour-long yap sesh. So if you guys watched that one, I appreciate it a lot. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thanks so much. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Patreon and Twitch if you wish to do so. And peace out. Thanks for watching.